In Matthew chapter 15, we come across a story where Jesus seems to be actually kind of rude to a woman. But what he's actually doing is he's taking an opportunity to teach us a lesson about faith. So let's look at Matthew chapter 15, starting in verse 22. It says, "And behold, a Canaanite woman from that region came out and was crying, 'Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David. My daughter is severely oppressed by a demon.' But he did not answer her a word." Well, let's pause there and look at who we're talking about. We're talking about a Canaanite woman. And we've talked a lot before about the difference in the Bible between Jew and Gentile, that in the Old Testament, God had chosen the people of Israel, the Jews, to be his chosen people through whom all of the nations of the world would be blessed. And he chooses these people, and throughout the Old Testament, he has promised to them that he's going to send them a Messiah. He's going to send them an anointed one, a king that's going to deliver them and is going to set up a kingdom forever. And we know that the book of Matthew is a very Jewish book. This is written by Matthew, who is a Jew, and it seems to be written to Jews. But here in this passage, we're introduced to a Canaanite woman. This is a Gentile. This is a woman who would have been seen as an outsider, someone who at this point was not part of the people of God. And she's crying out for mercy. She recognizes here that she has nothing in and of herself. Her daughter is severely oppressed by a demon, and she can't do anything about it, so she is crying out to Jesus, "Please have mercy." But this Jesus, who we've been talking about his compassionate heart and how he loves to care for the people around him, for some reason, it says he's not answering her a word. Well, let's keep on reading. His disciples came and begged him, saying, "Send her away, for she's crying out after us." And he answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Now the disciples are getting annoyed. She keeps on following them. But Jesus says, "I was sent to the lost sheep of Israel." If we look at Jesus' lifetime, for the most part, it is a ministry to the Jewish people. The people that he's teaching, the people that he's calling to repentance, the people that he came to speak to and to teach was primarily Jews. Now, yes, he does have encounters here and there with Gentiles, but it's very clear that the mission that Jesus had while he was on earth was specifically to Jews. Now, after his death and resurrection, he sends out his disciples to the Gentiles so that his salvation is not only of the Jews, but it goes to the ends of the earth. But his life and his mission was primarily to Jews. Well, in verse 25, she continues to persist. It says, "She came and knelt before him, saying, 'Lord, help me.' And he answered, 'It is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs.'" Now, time out. That sounds kind of rude, right? Did he just call her a dog? That's weird. Well, what Jesus is doing here is he's using a parable to draw out a response from her. He's using a parable to see that either she will respond in faith and humility, or she'll respond in prideful entitlement, like she believes he owes him something. And what he's saying here in this parable is that in a family, whenever you're around the table, you're going to provide for your children first. You're going to go to your children, and then after that, you can worry about the dog. But the dog is not the priority. You're not going to feed the dog and then not have anything left for the children. You're going to prioritize the children. Jesus' mission, as we said, was to come first to the Jews. And then ultimately, the mission would go out to the Gentiles. But Jesus always has a purpose in what he says. Jesus isn't just explaining to her why he hasn't answered her this far. Jesus is trying to draw a response that shows what's in her heart. And she responds, "Yes, Lord," in verse 27, "Yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Y'all, she doesn't say, I deserve it just as much as they do, right? She doesn't reject the idea that Jesus' mission should have been to Gentiles just as much to Jews. No, she simply accepts her place, and she reveals her faith that Christ has enough left over, power and grace for someone as undeserving as her. Do you have faith like this woman? I mean, do you come to Jesus thinking that he owes you something? Or do you come to Jesus thinking that he ought to respond yes to you in whatever you're asking? Or do you come knowing that you are undeserving, but with faith you know that his goodness can overflow even to someone like you? It does. Jesus pours out his mercy to people like us. Verse 28, Jesus answered her, "O woman, great is your faith. Be it done for you as you desire." And her daughter was healed instantly. It was this woman's faith, recognizing her place, recognizing in humility, I don't even deserve that Jesus would be giving his ear to me right now, but longing for his mercy and crying out for it in faith. This is what we should emulate. We should cry out to the Lord in faith, knowing that as undeserving as we are, he has the power, the grace, the goodness, the mercy to show himself to us and to work powerfully in our lives.